Today, we're going to take a look at the very end of chapter 7, which is what we call the anticipatory it. And it's just simply going to build upon what we've been working on already with nominal clauses. So, the anticipatory it. So let me show you an example of this as you're kind of following along with your worksheet. So, we have these two sentences, the A sentence and the B sentence. The A sentence says that the common cold is caused by a virus has been clearly established by science. And the second sentence, it has been clearly established by science that the common cold is caused by a virus. Well, they're both very similar sentences. They're kind of stating the same thing, but there's a different focus. So in the English language, we oftentimes focus on the end of the sentence. It usually is what we create, what we call the emphatic position. It's the position that gets the most emphasis. Well, a long time ago, like 20 some years ago, when I taught creative writing, I would use this as a focus when we talked about writing poetry, because oftentimes kids don't know when to end a poetic line and when to wrap around to the next line. I always tell them, put your strongest words at the end of a line, because we always remember the end as opposed to the beginning. We talked about that before with essays. And so in the first sentence, the focus of the sentence is the fact that it's been established by science. So this has been proven or established by science. The second sentence, the B sentence, is really stressing the fact that the common cold actually comes from a virus. Like, you can't get really a cold by going outside in the rain without wearing shoes or without putting a coat on, no matter what your grandma tells you. Now, your immune system might be lower because of that, and therefore you might catch a cold. But you're not linked to like going outside without a coat on to actually getting a cold. Those are not connected in any way. And so the second sentence is kind of proving the fact that the common cold is caused by a virus, as opposed to the first one saying that it's been established by science. It's all about where you're going to put the emphasis of the sentence. And as we get more into the rhetoric of our time together, we'll talk more about just simply like being careful with the way we structure our sentences. And one thing we focus on here is, hey, how are you going to end the sentence? Because that's what we're going to remember most. But basically, they're the same exact sentence. So we're going to focus on this B sentence. What I want to do is I want to diagram the B sentence, because basically the B sentence is the A sentence, just in what we call the anticipatory it. It's a different form. So what's happened is, I'm going to try to bring up see if I can find my highlighter here. Yeah. Let's see if I'll bring up yellow. So what's happening then is I'm opening up with this, it has been clearly established. And I'm using this word it, and I'm anticipating what the word it is. When it says it has been established by science, I'm like, well, what's been established by science? And it's asking me to say, well, hold on. You have to anticipate. You have to wait, because I'm going to tell you what. And so what's happened is I've taken the part of the sentence, which is at the very beginning in the A part, and I moved it to the back half in the B part. All I've done structurally is I said, look, I want to focus on the common cold being caused by a virus. And so if I write it in this form, I can then structurally put it all the way at the end of the sentence. So we call this the anticipatory it, because what I have is I have this word it, and I'm trying to anticipate what is it referring to. And what it's referring to is that the common cold is caused by a virus. What I've really done is I've created a appositive of the word it, except I've put the appositive really far away. I'm going to go back one slide for you and show you once again. The word it is really being renamed with this noun or this nominal clause all the way at the end. It's renaming the word it. And the reason I write it this way is because if I wrote it in the original way, the A sentence, well, if I just wrote it regularly like that the common cold is caused by a virus, the main focus now is that it's been established by science. But if I write the B sentence, now my focus is on the fact the common cold is caused by a virus. I've changed the focus, and I've done that really brilliantly with what we call the anticipatory it. Let's diagram this one so we can visually see what's really happening with the sentence. So let me get out of my slide. No, we could discard those. We don't need those. And let's go over here to our screen. And so I'm only going to diagram the B sentence, because the B sentence is the A sentence. It's just with one addition, which is going to be the it. So I'm going to build mine close to the bottom of my white space. I encourage you to do the same. Not overly too close, but close. And so I have a real basic sentence, which is it has been established as my whole verb, and then by science, a little passive voice verb. So it has been established clearly. It's a little adverb. L's just getting worse there. Sorry, everybody. And then it's been established by science. All right, nothing overly challenging yet. It has been established, clearly established by science. What I didn't take care of yet is this noun clause, which is that the common cold is caused by a virus. And what's happening is this whole thing is renaming that word it. It's in a positive. So we know when we have an appositive, we have to put it in parentheses. We also have dealt with before when an appositive is actually up on a tree, and that's what's happening. The word it is renaming this entire, or this noun clause rather, is renaming this word it. So it's sharing the same position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to put parentheses around it. I just put parentheses around it. And now I'm going to go up on this tree and I'm going to build this sentence, which is the common cold is caused by a virus. So my subject is cold, and then is caused. Well, a passive voice today. And then I'm going to take on it's the cold, common cold, and then I'd say by virus, a virus. Let me go back and add these words for everybody. So I'd say it's the cold, it's a common cold, it's caused by virus, and then a virus. And we also know if a noun clause starts off with the word that, we get to float that word that up here, and we put the word that. And really, this is the B sentence, but it's also the A sentence. If I can get up here and erase this line, kind of help us out here. There we go. You can see it a little better. Really, what the A sentence says is that the common cold is caused by a virus. Subject has been clearly established by science. Well, if you ignore the word it, that's what you've drawn. That the common cold is caused by a virus has been established, clearly established by science. And the B sentence is the exact same thing. It has been clearly established by science. You're like, well, what is it? Here's your positive. Kicked all the way to the end of the sentence, brought them back, that the common cold is caused by a virus. It's just a rhetorical device, meaning it's a stylistic writing choice to say I could either write it in the A form and focus on science, established by science, or I can write it on the B form and make sure that the reader remembers that it's caused by a virus. It's all about forcing the reader to remember one particular fact, and which fact you want him or her to remember. All right, let's try example number 2 together and get out of this and we'll start the next video.